Hello, I am Dr. M A Faridi, Professor and Head Department of Pediatrics, University College of Medical Sciences and GTB Hospital, Delhi, and I am the President of NNF Delhi State. The newborn baby is up to the age of 28 days, and this baby has very important milestones right after birth to 28 days of life. This baby is very prone to infection. This baby is very prone to have developmental problems because of anything which goes wrong in this period, and therefore this baby becomes important because of the high risk of mortality and morbidity in the baby. After birth, this baby takes breath by itself. If that doesn't happen, this may have very long-term consequences, and therefore this is extremely important that every newborn baby at birth takes breath, has sufficient oxygen in the blood, so that he is able to have normal growth and development later on. The situation as far as the newborn is concerned, if I put it in another way, the mortality, I said, is maximum in this age group. If you look at the infant mortality in country, which is up to the age of 12 months of age, 42 babies are dying per 1000 live births. Out of them, 29 babies are up to the age of 28 days. That means out of the 42 babies, only 13 babies are dying from 1 month to 12 months of age, that means in 11 months, whereas 29 babies are dying in first month of life. So this makes them very vulnerable, and this also makes them that we have to have all the efforts so that these babies ultimately survive. Having this in background, the current scenario is that we do not have sufficient trained manpower and sufficient areas where the baby is being looked after. The baby requires presence of the trained pediatrician and neonatologist in the labor room itself. So soon at delivery, the baby requires help. We do not have sufficient trained manpower, as said, in all the like rural areas, tribal areas and far-flung areas. Most of the places now, the newborn corner are being established so that we are able to look after the babies. So the current picture is that in last 4-5 years there has been improvement, but by and large the trained manpower to look after the newborn baby in the labor room is not available. The government of India is very sensitive about the issue, and globally the WHO has already taken a step which is a global concern for improving the newborn survival. For that, the Government of India has done on 18 September 2014 has taken a step to establish India Newborn Action Plan, and the objective or the target is that by 2030 the mortality of the newborn should be in single digit. That means currently we are having 29 per 1000 live births, it should come down to less than 10. To improve that survival, we have to naturally look into what are the causes of this high mortality. And they can be actually summarized into 2-3 major areas. One is that birth asphyxia. That means babies do not take breath at birth. That is the single largest cause of morbidity and mortality, because these babies who do not take breath at birth are also prone to develop developmental delays, cerebral palsies and other problems. The another important cause of death is infection. So that means the cleanliness is observed at the time of delivery. So we say 5 cleans. That means the hands are clean, surface is clean, the equipments are clean, and the cord clean. All these areas to be taken. So what we are doing these days are we are establishing SNCUs, that means special care newborn units, in all the districts of the country. So that is one. Second, we are doing neonatal resuscitation program. That means that is known as NRP, under which we are training nurses and doctors to be able to resuscitate a baby at birth. That baby is not breathing, so we are able to help that baby to give oxygen so that this baby and ultimately able to breathe by himself. So that is a very, very ambitious program in associate the National Neonatology Forum along with Indian Academy of Pediatrics and lot of government support. We are training right from the ASHA and basic health workers to doctors. The training is imparted to them. The third area is premature births, that baby are born before birth. The term babies are from 37 week of gestation to 41 week of gestation. So any baby who is born before 37 week is actually not fully developed. This baby has come out in the world is not fully mature. So these babies has more profound exacerbated problems. A term baby is prone to have infection. A preterm baby is still prone to have infections. And earlier a baby is born, more are the problems in the baby. So the preterm baby is another very important area, and in India, including other developing countries, low birth weight babies is another big chunk. And these low birth weight babies are called when the weight is less than 2.5 kg. Now these babies could be term babies or these babies could be preterm babies. Large number of them are actually preterm babies. So these baby has problem of asphyxia, infection, feeding problems. So another area where we are actually intervening is looking after these preterm babies, low birth weight babies in the hospital and in the community. For that, kangaroo mother care is another intervention. You know, in kangaroo, the baby are born premature, and the kangaroo's baby goes into the bag which is there on the belly of the kangaroo, and there the warmth is given and baby also feeds. Same kind of the action is being taken, and baby is put between the breast of the baby, of the breast of the mother, and breastfeeding is given. So the kangaroo mother care is another intervention, and to train our nurses and doctors in kangaroo care method, training is being imparted to them. See, I'll divide it into two groups. One is in-service training and this is a pre-service training. Pre-service training, yes, in form of knowledge part, theory part is there, sufficient amount is there. But as far as skills are concerned, that we call it a psychomotor domain of education, that actually requires more some changes, more skills have to be imparted to our nurses and to our doctors. And in that direction, the Medical Council of India is aware of it, and some more skills are being put into it. As far as in-service training is concerned, all the state governments and central government as well as the National Neurology Forum and IAP are working together with other NGOs like UNICEF, and we are training the nurses in NRP, in kangaroo care, and also to give the home-based care to the newborn babies, and also the facility-based newborn care. We are doing a lot of trainings to not only to our own people, health workers, but also the India has sufficient manpower and sufficient infrastructure to train people from the other countries like SARC, Afghanistan. Recently we had a training in Safdarjung Hospital. So we are in a very big way as far as education is concerned in a pre-service area. I would say that birth asphyxia is the single most important cause of morbidity and mortality in newborn babies. And recently a new modality has come up which is known as selective hypothermia, which is the methodology is that the cooling of the brain is done so that the damage is reduced. And this has now crossed from the experimental areas to a practice area. And nowadays, even in India, several centers are employing this modality. So that is one area. The second intervention is some newer drugs have come up which are helping them for like apnea prematurity, or there have been closing of the some patellar ductal arteriosus. So drugs are available without operation. This can be taken care of. The another important breakthrough which has come up in the care of the newborn babies is that of non-invasive ventilation. Because this is a very big area. The preterm babies are not able to breathe by themselves, and they are put on mechanical ventilation, and it has got its own problems of infection and long-term morbidity and mortality, and is also very labor intensive and is also very costly therapy. So breakthroughs have come up now. Instead of giving mechanical ventilation, probably non-invasive like CPAP and other forms of or high flow oxygen, very special long catheters are another modality which has come up. and which has reduced the need for mechanical ventilation. So this is another big breakthrough in the management of newborn infants. I think the future is good. We are very optimistic, and with having this INF plan and the Janni Suraksha Yojana and Janni Shishu Suraksha Yojana, where the government is giving free treatment to up to the age of 1 year, and one of the mandate of JSSK is that all the delivery must take place in the hospital setting, in a health facility where the trained manpower are available to look after the baby at birth and subsequently. And this single intervention has tremendously increased the delivery rate in the hospital, and now we are having about 80 to 90% deliveries are taking place in hospital setting and health facilities. And I'm sure that this will definitely have impact on, we had the mortality has been high, which is reducing, but the pace is slow. So we hope that by in having deliveries in a hospital setting, and by having more trained people available to look after baby in the labor room, and subsequently having the kangaroo mother care, breastfeeding, and more clean environment, and maintain the temperature of the baby, probably will be able to reduce, and perhaps by 2030 and maybe little earlier than that, be able to achieve mortality in single digit.